Welcome to NCIX Tech Tips. Today we're going to have a look at scanning made simple. This is the Fujitsu ScanSnap S1500. This is part of their ScanSnap series, which, as you can see from the exterior of the unit with its complicated Kensington lock, power input, and USB data input-output, and that's it, is all about simplicity. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to open up the top here where you can see the paper feeder. Then we're going to open up the bottom where you can see where the paper goes once it is output. And you are going to see also that there is zero frills and zero gimmicks to the unit itself. It has a scan button, and that is pretty much it. So this is a two-sided document, photo, whatever you want to feed through it scanner. It does up to 40 pages per minute, so that's 20 pages double-sided, and it will do anything from your standard sizes of paper down to something like, a stack of business cards. That could come in handy, am I right? It's built very robustly with user-replaceable parts, so you can actually replace, unlike most printers and scanners, things like the rollers down here. Can you see those right there, the rubber rollers? Those do wear out eventually, and you can actually replace them on these units rather than buying a whole new one, so it's not a bad investment that way. And it's all about the software. So we're going to show you some of the features of the software that's included. Stay tuned for more. So let's start with a quick speed test, as well as showing you some of the cool features of the ScanSnap S1500. So I have a document here, which is actually an article about the ScanSnap. You can see I have some words highlighted. I have ScanSnap highlighted. I have productivity highlighted. I've also got an upside down page thrown in there just to throw it a curveball and see if it can correct that for me and put it right side up. And then I've also got Patriot and Javelin highlighted as keywords. Now you're going to notice right here my highlighting comes right over on the E, so it's probably going to pick up E Javelin on my keywords. But there you have it. Let's go ahead and run that through the scanner. So it's going to open up in the ScanSnap organizer, and I'm going to show you guys a couple cool things. So one is it's going to correct that upside down page for me. Two, actually I should have thrown in a blank page, but it will actually pull out blank pages for you. It'll automatically detect those, and I am also going to be able to convert these pages into searchable PDF. So what that means is that if I'm archiving my credit card statements, or if I'm archiving letters from a particular correspondent, whatever the case may be, I can go ahead, I can highlight the keywords that I want to be able to search for it by later, and then I can just type them into the search box at the top, and I can track them down that way. So you can see here, it has corrected the upside down page, no problems whatsoever with that. And there's my Patriot one, so you can see the document here. Scanned through pretty fast, This is single-sided, black and white. But what you guys are going to notice when we do a double-sided color page is it's going to go through just as fast. So I'm converting that into a searchable PDF. It's going to go ahead and find those highlighted keywords for me, and then I'm going to show you what else I can do with a highlighter and the ScanSnap. So let's go ahead and we'll go have a look at what keywords it picked up. So productivity has a little apostrophe at the end. My highlighting wasn't quite perfect. E Javelin is there, just as I predicted. And then it has Patriot and ScanSnap there as keywords. I've gone ahead, I've altered those. Now you just got to type it in there, and it'll bring up anything that picks up those keywords. Now I'm going to show you guys another cool highlighter-based feature. Let's say you're reading an article about a new Kitsilano clinic that champions new methods. Very fascinating. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say, oh, wow, there's something in here about Chinese medicine and how as an emergency room doctor I read something. Okay, sorry, I haven't actually read the article, but I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to highlight that section that I think would be interesting to, a friend or a sibling or whatever the case may be. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to cut a general line around the outside of the article so that I can run it through the ScanSnap because the paper itself is a little on the wide side. So here we go, just cutting that. Okay. And then just going to kind of, whoops. Okay. Oh, now we have a completely tattered piece of paper to run through here. I'm going to run it through at an angle as well, just to throw another curveball at the ScanSnap. Oh, it looks like I haven't quite got it straight enough. Okay, there we go. So let's run that through. Yep. One thing that is kind of hard to tell because you know what? Okay, we'll talk about that later. Okay, so the page is through. It scanned both sides, and it doesn't slow it down at all to scan one side or two sides. You can see that the text is now horizontally aligned. It's straight, okay? And we're going to go ahead. We're going to delete the page that we don't need and save then all we have to do is right-click and crop the marked section, and the attributes of files are not inherited after cropping. That's fine. And there we go. Now we have our little article about Chinese medicine, and it is cropped according to the highlighter lines that I have drawn on the page. Now, if you like the features you saw before, then you're going to love this, because ScanSnap is worth its weight in gold as a card organizer. So here's my card. I'm going to throw this in at the end of the bunch of cards that I'm going to scan. So I've got about 6 cards here. When I was doing my card testing, probably about 70 to 80% of them picked up 100% correctly in terms of the keywords, phone numbers, company names, all that stuff. The rest of them were usually pretty close, or they were very strange card layouts. Like, say, for example, a card where the company name is only a logo rather than actually being listed as a company name somewhere on the card. So that's pretty challenging. You can't really expect it to pick that up. So right now we are scanning into CardMinder. Before we were scanning into ScanSnap Organizer. So there are different programs that you can scan into. So let's go ahead and come on over here, and you can see that it brings up my card. It's got my name, my company, my phone number. Now my email I've blacked out, so that is the reason that the email is not showing up correctly, but it does scan my card correctly. You can also see some of the other companies here. I've sort of covered up the names that there are because I don't need everybody calling these people, but these are all 100% correct in terms of company names. So this is a very cool way to easily search your business contacts, whether it's by full name, company, phone number, or email. Very neat feature. Now, the organizer software won't necessarily work with things like, your Rogers video card, which is a stiff card. This is not a business card, but you can actually run it through the ScanSnap anyway. Pretty cool, right? And you can also even run through bent cards. So this is a bent, damaged card. And yeah, that's fine. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to keep it. And then I throw in another one there. I put through a bent card, and it had no problem with either of those. So this one, obviously, the information doesn't work right, but it can scan it. You can archive that. And then this one works just fine, even though the card is bent. Last but not least, full color documents. So here we have a picture of like a whale and a shark or something. Let's go ahead and open up the ScanSnap. You can see this is quite damaged. I actually burned it here and ripped it all up over here. So we can try and run this through. If it works, great. If it doesn't, then I'll show you yet another feature. Okay, it worked, but it wasn't supposed to. Last time I ran it through, it bunched up. So I'll show it to you this way, and then I'm going to show it to you using the carrier sheet. So the carrier sheet, the ScanSnap carrier sheet here, allows you to scan damaged photos, whether they're damaged by fire or age, or they're ripped and torn, and you're worried they'll get ripped apart even worse by throwing them through a scanner like this. So you might think you need a flatbed scanner. Well, turns out you don't. So here you go. We've got our whale as well as our shark. Rotate that 180 degrees so you can see that turns out pretty good. Now, if I was worried about damaging this, all I have to do is throw it in the carrier sheet. So the carrier sheet allows it to not risk damaging any of the fragile edges. We just go ahead and throw that through there. I haven't actually tried this yet, so we'll see how this goes. And you know what? We can also check out how the quality is when we run it through with the carrier sheet versus running it through without. So scan to the organizer. Oh, whoops, yes, save anyway. Okay, so here is the one that we ran through. Oh, okay, neat. So it does the whole thing as double-sided. I believe that's a setting. So you can use that to actually fold things and scan them as a single page within the carrier sheet, or you can use the carrier sheet with a different setting to scan one side and then the other. So you can actually check out the quality. Can I just get the camera zoomed in on, let's do the shark one. So this is a very, very beat up page, but this is obviously the best we can do with it, because here's my original, you guys. So it's pretty brutal. You can see the black levels are really good though, even compared to the original document, so that's kind of neat. And then let's go ahead and have a look at this one here, which we'll go ahead and also rotate 180 degrees so you can see that too. So I'd say it goes through a little bit better without the carrier sheet, but if you don't have that option, then at least the carrier sheet is there for you. So thank you for checking out my video on the ScanSnap S1500. Thank you for watching NCIX Tech Tips, and don't forget to subscribe for more reviews and computer videos and all that good stuff.